And we're back. Hello everybody, Dark Phoenix Gaming here, and welcome back to some more Stellaris Megacorp with AlphaMod and about 90 bajillion other mods. Last time we left off, we were just in the process of settling our second colony over on Alpha Centauri, with the first one being on the moon, oddly enough. And I still haven't got a decent name for this world. I don't want to keep calling it Alpha Centauri Prime. That's just a placeholder name until we can come up with something better, honestly. But the other place we have that we really want to colonize is over here in the Sirius system. The problem is that planet has an anomaly on it. And because of reasons, you are not capable of colonizing planets that have anomalies. So we've got our scientists going off and doing shit to level up so that he can do that and get it out of the way and all. "300 days is a little too long for you to be tied up, I think, my friend. Now, let's kick us up to fast speed and unpause the game. We'll be nabbing the Canopus system there as soon as we are able. Yes, 8 energy credit income, and 41 minerals, and 7 food. We also have our fleet here that we're trying to put together. We have a mix of missile boat and laser corvettes at the moment, is all that our fleet consists of. Let's have a look at our population growth. Not a whole lot of growth on Earth, because we are colonizing places, but Luna, we're getting about 4.2 every month. So we should have a third pop there in not too long. And Alpha Centauri should get some of that when they finally get their shit together. Construction ship is moving over to take that system, so we can grab those two. And we have a size 11 tropical world and a size 12 desert world in this system, so that's potentially 2 colonies, though the desert one I would end up waiting until we have the ability to terraform before I take that.
System survey concluded.
Just because they are generally not very good in terms of not spending all of your income on maintaining a colony, I mean. So we can keep at it with our surveying down here. And wow, that is a really cool looking system. Like, really, really fucking cool. I don't know what kind of nebula this is supposed to be, but it just looks awesome. And that's all we need to know about the place. It looks cool. Because clearly nothing else matters than looking cool, am I right? That was a rhetorical question. Now let's go up to fastest speed so we can make a bit of progress on that front. And we'll be jumping that construction ship over in not too long. I can also afford to reinforce the fleet again, which I'm going to do. I don't technically need those ships right now, but I would like to have access to them. In the event that we encounter an enemy who ends up being kind of difficult to take down, we want to have as many ships as we can get our hands on, if possible. I don't want to be caught by a fallen empire or barbaric despoilers. Our scientists have both leveled up. I don't want to be caught by a fanatical purifier or barbaric despoiler and not even have half as many ships as they do. That would kind of screw me over. We have 15 of those corvettes. Once they finish up over there, we have one more star that needs to be done. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little longer than it would because this science ship has chosen to do surveying the system in a fairly dumb way. They don't seem to decide what part of the system to go after next in a logical manner based on what's closest to where they are and what will have them finish it in the shortest amount of time. Just seems to be basically they arbitrarily decide on something because they feel like it. Is all that it really seems to be. Which is kind of aggravating,
Construction
really.
completed.
That starbase is done. There's plenty of things down there I would like to claim, including those hive-minded guys. I would love to stick an observation post over their planet and then make them our subject. That would be awesome, even if we wouldn't be able to integrate them for a while. So I'll start getting myself a starbase there. And as soon as we have the alloys for it, I am going to grab up a second construction ship, as that's something we are going to need. We're also getting to the stage where we're running into some housing problems over on Luna, so they can finally have a city district. And actually have some housing to deal with that. Because they actually need housing now, unlike before. Which should increase our stability a little bit. Once they finally get that. Now, how's Alpha Centauri doing? They'll be done at the end of next year. So that isn't going to be too long, fortunately. And we've started to work on the surrounding stuff in this last star. In its orbit, I mean.
System survey concluded.
The Weir system has finished being surveyed. And the science ship is heading over to an unknown system. Yeah, that's the awesome place. Now, I just need a little bit more for this construction ship. So what I'm going to do is buy some alloys, and we'll start the construction of another construction ship at our spaceport. And I'm thinking fairly soon we want to throw down a dedicated shipyard, because this sort of area near where we are right now is going to be our core world, so one thing I always like doing when I'm playing Stellaris is dedicate a particular system as being where I'll do most of my shipbuilding. As in my experience, it tends to work out the best to have a dedicated shipbuilding location. Now you build all the things, then you can move over to there and await being able to place it in our space. Anyways, I prefer having a dedicated shipbuilding system.
Construction completed.
Instead of having, like I will with the Sol Starbase, as you can see, kind of like a jack-of-all-trades system where you have a mix between some basic shipyards and some trading hubs. I don't like to rely on that, in general. Now, we can get a Starbase outpost down in the Jumpron system, then we'll move over to Procyon as our next port of call. We also have unemployment over here on Luna. That's going to be resolved once our city district comes in, because it's also going to give that retailer job. Very handy indeed. We're over here. A scientist has gained some more experience. Unfortunately, Ahmed here has become stubborn. Nice experience game. I'm not a fan, honestly. Though admittedly, stubborn is not so bad, because minus 25% experience gain I can just about deal with. If it was something like Arrested Development, though, I would have been so pissed. Because for those of you who have not played Stellaris, you won't know this, but Arrested Development is basically the worst negative trait in the game. It means they will essentially stop leveling up, and they'll never gain any more experience, no matter what, which is very infuriating. It really is. We're over here in the Milistamu system, doing some surveying. God, I cannot pronounce that name. So that's another thing I have on my list of stuff that I will do if this playthrough continues for any length of time. Take the chance between a couple of recordings to rename a bunch of planets and systems to things I can actually bloody pronounce. But unusually bright. Our scientist here has finished work on that anomaly. The sun is unusually bright due to vastly increased surface solar activity. A rare combination of elements and gravitational pressure seems to be the cause of this unusual phenomenon. We could take advantage of this. And that adds 9 energy to that sun. That's going to be a pretty nice system for buffing our energy income. Which is why it is pretty high up on my list of places to add to our empire. Or our alliance, rather. Places to add to the alliance. And it's probably more accurate than add to our empire, because we are not an empire. Not yet, anyways. You might be able to technically consider us an empire once I get a bunch of different species in here. And we built that. And so now our pop there has employment, and the housing crisis on Luna has been resolved. So we have +7, +57 stability right now. That's going to be rather nice. So that means once you are done with all of that, go add that system go add the Tropia system to our territory. And you can survey that place.
Anomalous readings registered. A new world has been colonized.
And there, Alpha Centauri Prime has been colonized. As I said, we'll change the name at some point, because I don't want it to just be called Prime. That's kind of dumb, honestly. There's plenty of places we need to clear away, but I need to get those tile blocker researches first. What jobs are people working here? Because we have a total of one pop who's working as a colonist. We're going to need a water processor and another colonist. And right now we have sufficient water supply on the planet, which, I have to be honest, I do not really understand the whole water system and a lot of the new resources in AlphaMod. It's just one of those things that I am still learning, so yeah. Okay, once you're done over there, head over into that region of the galaxy and start surveying it. I might have you stop in Barnard Star to do some surveying there, though. Depends. After we finished up over here. So, lay claim to the Jompron system, then I'll nab Procyon. And we can take basically this entire star cluster down here for our own. It's a shame that there are no colonizable worlds in Procyon, though. That would have been... Wait, I take that back. There is a colonizable world over here on Procyon 2. But it's a warm marginal world, meaning it's going to need to be terraformed before we can actually settle it. That, or we're going to need to genetically modify part of our human species. Or get robots. One of the three anyways. Ancient life pod. An abandoned life pod was detected in close orbit of Mellistamu 4A. God, I have got to rename that system. That is so damn hard to pronounce. It is covered in scorch marks, presumably from when the pod's mothership exploded, and preliminary scans suggest it was built more than 5,000 years ago. The crew of the SSV Goddard managed to open the pod, revealing the withered remains of a reptilian alien clad in a resplendent uniform. Clutched in one of its claws was a small picture of another individual from the same race, possibly a mate or even a revered leader. That's interesting, and we get 90 society research out of that. But yeah, this system is getting renamed as soon as it's in my territory, because I literally cannot pronounce that. Let's see. Check the fleet manager. We have 5 mercury glass we need right now. I'll get one more Corvette, start getting the Mercury class in. Once we're capped out, we'll just be able to focus a bit more on expansion. Since once we're capped out with this, we'll also be capped on naval capacity. Completed. So just adding a second fleet to the mix won't really be an option until we get more naval capacity.
Construction completed.
Alrighty. get me a starbase over in Procyon. We want that system. It has alloys in it, for one thing. So that is an objectively good reason to have it. We're getting a little over our Empire size limit right now.
System survey concluded.
That's no big deal. And now that system that I can't pronounce the name of has finally finished being surveyed. So we can send them off to survey those couple of systems, start expanding in other directions. How are we doing over here, though? Just about done. We've got one more planetary body, actual airless world, in fact, in that system that we can survey, and then we'll be done there. Get started on setting up a starbase in Procyon. And we are done in the Ulber system. So move over there and check out some more unknown territory off on the frontier, I think. Also, apologies if you happen to hear any banging noises in the background. My dad's working on some stuff outside, and I can hear it through my window and doors and stuff, but I'm not sure if it's turning up on the video or not. But if it is, sorry about the noise. But unfortunately, there's not anything I can do about it. Our research into Strikecraft has just finished. So now, I'm going to take the opportunity to research powered exoskeletons. That'll move us down the robotics path. And if we can, I want to at the very least get droids so that I can use robots to settle some of our worlds. I don't plan to go down the whole robotic Ascension path or anything. In fact, I might not even go down any of the Ascension paths. I've done that before, where I just don't go down an Ascension path and just take a few perks here and there. And just focus on, like, terraforming and some basic robotics, rather than anything more advanced. So now, get me that, and then I'll take those two systems.
Research concluded.
There's another research we're done with. Pop growth speed. Hello to faster growing population. Let's see. I have that dense jungle on one planet. The one in Alpha Centauri. Let's check elsewhere and see if it turns up. Yeah, we have dense jungle there. Yeah, we're getting a lot of dense jungle turning up. That might be a good thing to go for. But at the same time, boosting our research into society and unlocking gene clinics to be able to grow our population even faster would also be nice. Let's see. Gene clinics, the ability to clear jungles, or more society research from jobs. All of those are really quite good. And they all cost about the same. Well, society research from researchers costs a little bit less, but not much. You know, I think I'm gonna go for gene clinics. This early on, I tend to favor population growth rather than anything else. So I'm gonna stick with that. And continue favoring population growth. that would be hard. That one would take quite a while also. You can just continue surveying the area rather than checking anything out. Still 480 days to do that anomaly over on Sirius. Only 100 for the one in Barnard Star, though, so why don't you go do that? It's relatively short, and it's on your way, so you might as well. And we have our alloys that we're mining now. Going to need to buff our energy production soon, because we're getting down in terms of energy. Oh well, it's not a huge deal. I mean, if I really need to, I could start selling some food or consumer goods or minerals on the market and increase my energy income like that for a short time while I get some things set up better and all. I'd rather not, but it's an option, which is one of the things that I always liked about 2.2. And give me an energy district, please. It's the only one we'll be able to build on Luna full stop, but that should help with our income. That's one of the things I always liked about 2.2. If you were losing in one resource, then you can quite easily set up a trade deal to fix that by trading one for another. I just love the fact that you can just do the whole resource value exchange thing really easily, and I love the new economic system that it came with. It's one of my favorite parts. And we found an amusement park in Barnard Star. Nice. I'm going to have you survey the Barnard Star before you go off and do anything, though.
Research concluded.
There's some research done. We're now -1 on our energy income, but not a big deal. Research speed +5 is done, so I'm going to now focus on... it's going to be next for me either blue lasers or physics. Colony development speed's not all that important. It takes some time to get a colony set up, but I don't mind waiting. And this early on, I think really buffing my research speed so that we can research things faster is the best choice. And that is what I will go for. Rhizor is now part of our territory. Campaigning is ongoing. Time for the next election. We'll just sit back and see how that goes. And see if Miss Yamasaki managed to make herself look attractive enough for re-election. Now, why is it saying we haven't fulfilled that when I have +13? Or is it that you... Oh, I think it might actually be that you have to have that by the end of her term in order for it to count as fulfilled, but I'm not entirely sure. But we definitely have +13, which is more than 12, so we should get that reward. Hopefully we do. setting up that outpost soon, and I can get some energy coming in. Our president's mandate has been fulfilled. Excellent. And that gives us 87 unity. And she's been re-elected again. As this starting president is quite the popular one, as it turns out. Unlike in my first campaign I played as this empire, I'm not bothering to burn all my influence on keeping her in office. Most notably because that first campaign was actually done before 2.0, so I actually need influence for expansion now. Speaking of needing influence, you know, depending on how I'm actually playing at the time, I can honestly never decide if I am actually making enough influence
Construction
that I'm
completed.
basically breaking even, or if we have so much that we'll never get low on it, or if we don't have enough.
Special project has concluded.
Physics research from studying a star. Yeah, I can just never decide that, because I'm never certain if I have enough influence or not, or if there should be more expenditures and stuff. It really depends on what kind of empire I'm playing, to be honest, because if I'm playing a vassal-heavy empire where I expand through vassalizing and subjugating people and subsequently integrating them, then I always have way too much influence. Far more than I know what to do with. On the other hand, if I am playing a game where all my expansion is done through
completed.
laying claims and such, then I'm constantly running out of influence because I have to balance being able to make claims on people to actually having enough to do edicts and things. Which is kind of interesting, I suppose. It's still a little bit annoying how I can never tell if I have enough or not. Sometimes. I suppose it depends on the play style. So I kind of wish there were more things to use my influence for when I'm playing the style that has me not going through that much influence outside of the early game stuff. But when I'm playing the style where I am using influence basically as soon as I get it, then unfortunately I wish that I was getting more and have no way to do so. So we have got the ability to have Forge Worlds now, and have unlocked an Ascension perk. So what is there to choose? Needs the many. Let's see. I think after giving this a quick once-over, I've narrowed down which one I'm gonna get to like 2 or 3. Unsurprisingly, Interstellar Dominion is my top pick because no matter what kind of empire I'm playing, I always expand pretty rapidly early on because I like to get as much territory as I can in my hands before the borders start solidifying and stuff. I tend, as you can probably tell from that, to be more of a playing wide style than playing tall. So these penalties are going to shoot through the fucking roof. as we go through the game just because of that. And I tend to pick Interstellar Dominion because I can claim stuff and set up star bases for a lot less influence, which is very, very handy. Other than that, technological ascendancy is also very nice because I do like me some research. I suppose executive vigor is kind of neat, but a lot of the edicts that I tend to favor in the base game, especially the ones that just automatically give you more minerals or energy or anything, seem to be missing right now. So that's really the only reason I have for doing something like that. Transcendent learning I really can't be bothered with, and shared destiny, I don't think this is going to be a vassal run, unless I'm very, very mistaken, so shared destiny is right out. Then again, needs of the many is an interesting one, because food and consumer goods are two of the resources that I struggle to keep in a significant amount of surplus a lot of the time, because it always gets to the point where the amount that I have is exploding to a stupid degree, but then I just plunk down like 5 colonies at the same time, or my population grows a little faster than I was expecting, and I'm barely managing 1 consumer goods, and I'm at like -2 food. Stuff like that is constantly happening to me, so being able to have to deal with less consumer goods and less food would be very nice, but I don't think I need to pick it this early on. I'll keep that one in mind for later. So I am actually going to go for what is my default pick in Stellaris for the first Ascension perk, that being Interstellar Dominion. So hello, cheaper starbase influence cost. Welcome to the party. And actually, I have to do that now. If you're wondering why I cancelled an order and then cast it again, it's a little something, one of the minor things that aggravates me when it comes to Stellaris and influence-related stuff. I'll get to that in a second. We have just met the Sojog progenitors. The first empire we encountered was a fallen empire. The Xenophiles, specifically. I'm just glad it wasn't the Xenophobes. That would have been annoying. Humans, how delightful. We hadn't expected to encounter you for a few centuries yet. Personally, I thought you would wipe yourselves out long before leaving your gravity well, but I am glad to be proven wrong. Yes, Akiri Yamasaki speaks on behalf of the Alliance people. And yes, we have met aliens. These particular Xenos appear to have been active on the galactic stage for some time. Their empire is likely thousands of years old, and their technology is far ahead of our own. We should be careful when dealing with them. This changes everything. They closed their borders to us, but we didn't get a notification of it. That's annoying. We'll have you surveyed there. The Exile. The readings originate from a small research outpost, which the Systems Alliance has no record of establishing or even authorizing. On the surface of Camp 5, it is staffed by one human scientist, a fairly talented and industrious one if their research on Camp 5 is anything to go by. There is a problem with regards to their identity, however. You've been unable to match them against official state records, and they refuse to identify themselves. save for stating that they are an exile. They have expressed an interest in returning to Earth and serving the System Alliance directly, on the condition that the SSV Goddard immediately depart Camp 5 and no human ships ever return there. Yeah, see, we don't actually need another leader right now, so no. I'll take the physics research instead. And there's nothing unusual about the outpost itself. It's little but a temporary shelter against the savage elements, allowing surface-level planetary study for a limited time before it wears down. The outpost is nearing the end of its lifespan, but the planet's intense chill has yet to critically degrade the impermanent? Impermanent? Is that a word? The impermanent structure. The equipment, functional, cheap, intended to be abandoned, is well used. The local databanks are filled with detailed but ultimately mundane accounts of the planet, as well as the simple experiments that were carried out in its harsh environment. Curiously, no closer examination seems to have been made of the mineral outcropping in the outpost foundation. The mineral outcropping the outpost foundations rest on even. Scans by the Goddard indicate the geological formation, a mountain mostly buried under ice, may be partially hollow. More alarmingly, Science Officer Ahmed reports the sole inhabitant of the outpost, the mysterious exile, has gone missing and is nowhere to be found. Puzzling indeed. Yeah, unfortunately, that event always seems to come up when I have no use for an additional leader, so I've basically never said yes to it as a result. Is he investigating that system? We can yoink these couple of systems, and my construction ship here will take Chetris. It's on the border with the Fallen Empire, but I still want it. And no, we're not about to go to war with them, or any such thing. Valus system? Yes. We have met aliens. And that is the science ship of another empire. So that'll be finished in 27 months, but we'll start working on it. We found a slab of rock covered in alien writing. No other signs of alien activity, and how it came to be here is a mystery. Prepared a project to translate the text. Have a look at the mural for me and translate it, please. We'll be done over in Ablopus soon, and be moving on to the next system. Our president has leveled up and is now level 4. Very excellently done indeed. Now we'll be moving on to the next system. And I'm going to claim this entire star cluster plus that thing, as well as those two systems, before we give a thought to slowing our expansion. As we need to slow down at some stage, but right now, we need to rapidly claim as many things as possible, basically. pity these xenophiles will not open their borders to us. I didn't realize it would do this, but this is from another of my mods that makes them not like the fact that it basically changes foreign relations to actually take into account your policies and things. In this case, they really like our xenophilia, as well as the fact our initial border status is open. But they're not so fond of interstellar dominion, because that's a form of aggressive foreign policy, which these guys aren't too fond of. But what? I need to be able to claim territory fast, or we're undoubtedly going to get left behind by the competition. We can't have that.
The special project has concluded.
We've managed to partially translate the mural. The text contains a staggering amount of data, and the mural evidently serves as some sort of low-tech library. It describes in broad terms a collected technological knowledge of an alien civilization that dominated this region of the galaxy some 80 million years ago. A lot of it is already known to us, but it does contain several promising leads for technologies we have yet to consider. There's enough data to keep our scientists busy for decades, but we'll need an orbital research facility to continue the translation efforts. Our scientists get a bunch of experience, and we add 2 of every type of science to that particular chunk of rock. Definitely another reason to claim it. That's another 2 science in every category. And at this stage, we need all the science we can get. Though, we don't seem...
Construction completed.
No, that's right. The society research thing is because we're busy contacting someone right now. Claim as much as you can. I'll come back and build stuff for these places at a later date. But damn, that's a big ring. That is just so pretty. Though I'm not sure how much of that is supposed to be the way it is and how much is maybe a graphical bug. As some of that could be just a graphical bug, really. Rather than it being that it's supposed to look like that, I'm hoping it's supposed to look like that, because that is just gorgeous. I say it could be a graphical bug because the first time I loaded up my current setup of mods, it loaded with the moon, Luna, literally partially inside of Earth and not in its orbit properly. So I have to keep that in mind. Okay, we finished translating. No, that wasn't us finishing, that was someone else finishing it. We are receiving a transmission from the independent space station of the Artisan Troop. They appear to have successfully translated our language. We get some influence for that? Visitor, this is a joyous occasion indeed. Oh, forgive my manners, I believe introductions are in order. We are the Artisan Troop. So yes, we can go to them to buy culture-related stuff. Let's see. Artisan Troop. They are located extremely far away. The Artisan Troop is at this end of the mid-rim. Well, our territory is mostly located in the inner rim, on the opposite end of the galaxy, so they're not about to be in our space anytime soon, that's for damn sure. Speaking of contacts, still 14 months to go. And we gotta construct another energy district during our current president's rule to get that. We'll get on that eventually.
System survey
That system's
concluded.
been surveyed. That will be another system added to our space. 2 more to go down here, and then this entire star cluster is claimed by the System Alliance. Very nice indeed.
System survey concluded.
Okay, you're done over there. I'm going to have go and do that anomaly over on Sirius. It's going to take a while, but we're really only in a position where we need 1 science ship right now. I mean, we could do with a second, but I can afford to let you do that. And our language has now been translated by the Kelbrid assimilators. Oh dear. Yes. It's the Borg, basically. It's the Stellaris version of the Borg. We are the Kelbrid assimilators. We wish to incorporate your kind into our greater consciousness. For this purpose, we have created advanced cybernetic implants that are compatible with most organic life forms. Let us surgically graft them to your bodies. Please. Well, because you said please, of course we're going to. Just kidding. Fuck you. We shall properly greet you in battle, scum. We are equivalent, so that's nice. I'm going to see if I can't rush my way down to that particular location, because that looks like a choke point into their territory, which would give me a rather significant strategic advantage should they ever decide to go to war with me. We've started to build an outpost there.
We have detected an anomaly.
Anomaly detected. Go ahead. Science ship can get on that soon enough. Actually,
Construction completed.
yes, we are done over there. Now claim that system, and then we can start the process of exploiting all the resources down here. And snap up those couple. Oh, they're expanding. This concerns me. This very much does concern me. Alpha Centauri has unemployment problems. I'm going to take this opportunity to build that generator district that our president wants. I'll take the engineering research, I think. The other option, basically, some of your pops will start converting to xenophile, which I'm not against, but I need the resources more than the xenophilia right now, so we'll stick with that. We'll grab this system real quick. And then move on. Composite 758. Great name. Oh, by the way, something to keep in mind with these guys, and I don't know if it'll have any effect considering the whole AI thing, but I'm told, according to the Steam page about AlphaMod, that the version of it covering hive minds, just Gestalt consciousnesses in general, is the part of the mod that takes care of that whole thing is not working yet. So they may be a little bit broken in terms of the actual gameplay. I don't know if that refers to playing against them or just playing as them, because it did suggest you shouldn't try to play as one. So I'm not sure what kind of effects we're going to get out of that. This soon enough. And yes, our food income is going to be an issue soon. It's fortunate that we have Alpha Centauri Prime, or whatever it end up being called, because just look at this. This is going to be one of my breadbasket worlds.
Construction completed.
It's going to feed so much of our damn empire. It really is. It'll be great. Now get started building all these stations. And then some. Mining, then research, then an observation post. More mining, more research, more mining, more mining, more research, more mining, more research, and get a station up in the cam system. Yeah, you have your orders.
Construction completed.
All those rich resource places down there are going to need to get their shit done.
System survey concluded.
Okay. There.
Research concluded.
Okay, what's the problem? You have a small deficit in natural fuels, unfortunately. Powered exoskeletons is done, so that'll be more army damage and more minerals for jobs. And hello there, robot workers. I'll be having you, thank you very much. All our techs are still tier 1, though physics and engineering are currently the furthest towards hitting tier 2. I do love the old tech tier system because it's kind of nice to be able to tell what level my technology is currently at from that. And I really like it.
Is hailing us.
Finally established contact with those people who are busy translating. The Dima Zanin Sacred Order. Diplomatic channels are now open and all hostilities have been terminated. Also 51 influence. Well met. I represent the Dima Zanin Sacred Order, led by the illustrious Archprophetess Ip the First. We rule our region of space under a divine mandate, and so long as you do not interfere in our spiritual affairs, our relations may remain cordial. They are quiet cultists, and they just want to be left alone to worship. I just love that description, it's great, but yes, we greet you. The fact that they're quiet cultists, they do not want to have diplomatic relations with us. Most certainly not. Two more places we need to build our research outposts at. How are you doing? We're about 90% done investigating Sirius, which is nice because once we're done with that, I can colonize it. 65 months left until I can pick another tradition. I think I might go for expansion for my second tradition, actually. That's a fairly vanilla thing to do, but I think so. Yut Colony. A massive ground war was fought on Sirius 3 between the Yut and a second species that we know little of. And this campaign took place in the final years of the Yut Empire, and though it occurred millions of years ago, the wreckage of ruined war machines can still be found. Although the planet was an important Yut colony, their cities and outlying settlements were never rebuilt after the fighting ceased, which would seem to indicate that they ultimately lost the campaign. Fascinating indeed.
Situation log has been updated.
Special project called Ancient Battlefield. Go research that, please. Once you're done with that, you can go survey those couple of systems. But now, we can colonize Sirius. It's also lush, so maybe it would be a better idea to make that my agricultural world. I haven't decided yet. But I will colonize it. I'll call it Sirius Prime for now, but eventually, like with Alpha Centauri, it's going to get renamed. Our core sector governor has an ability to reduce crime now, which I suppose is kind of nice, but there's not really much in the way of crime on Earth just yet. By political support and subsidized trade have both expired. So we're going to now turn them back on. There we go. We've got plenty of wealth, so we can afford to do that every 20 years or so. I do wish we could get more details on stuff like this, because I'd like it if there was an expenses screen for these strategic resources. because I know that I'm losing less than 1 natural fuel per month, but I'd love to know what I'm losing that from. But that's not an option right now, unfortunately. These guys. Apparently, they rivaled us and never told us. Nice. Unfortunately, we found ourselves in a less than stellar corner of the galaxy, and are going to end up probably boxed in between these two, unless I can grab some of that territory really fast. So, I'm going to cancel all of that construction. We found a Ute battle harness on Sirius 3. That's +1 artifact. I'm just going to send these guys off to survey that, and we'll claim as much as we can as fast as we can. You can finish off that system at another time. Go survey like that. Now you go do that. Once again, I'm going to have to do that to make sure I maximize the amount of influence I'm not spending. The noxious planet is in this system.
Updated.
I can do it another time. I can do it another time. Luna has population problems now. They need employment. So, I am going, let's see here, we're missing natural fuels. Let's see. I could set up a university, but no, I don't think so. Biomass furnace. Produces 5 energy in exchange for 10 food. I'm going to give you an autoton monument. Our colony ship is just about done, and we'll be settling Sirius soon.
Construction completed.
There it is. Slight deficit of food right now, but it's not enough to worry about just yet. It'll get seen to soon enough. Now, build a couple of additional warships for our fleet. I think it's basically inevitable I'm gonna end up fighting one of those two sooner rather than later. So I want to be prepared for that. And having more ships is one way to do that. Okay.
Construction completed.
So Starbase is finished building those, so now get us that one more ship, and then we will be at our naval capacity. That'll be 20 corvettes, and all that we can build for the time.
Construction completed.
There we go. We are at our naval capacity and our fleet command limit.
Construction
That
completed.
particular fleet. Luna has its thing set up. And we're soon to begin the colonization of Sirius. There we go. Oh, yes.
A new world of opportunities awaits.
Now Sirius will be added to our list of colonies. 22 to 31. That's about 5 years until that... Yeah, 5 years until that colony is settled. So we can put ourselves back on fastest, now that I'm done dramatically watching that with the UI turned off. Quick survey over here and we'll be done in this system. Starting to get some more resource drain that I'll need to deal with, but nothing too big right now. A little bit of an economic problem at this stage isn't something to worry about.
System
With
survey
the number
concluded.
of colonies that we've set up so
Knowledge
quickly,
is the
I
key
don't
to the
think.
universe.
And we finished researching more physics research from jobs. Next, I'm going to research plus 20% energy credits from our technicians. We have a little bit of an energy shortage right now, so that tech should help us address the problem. At least I hope so.
Construction completed.
Now build that next outpost. We need to push our borders up here as fast as we can. No question about that. So get to it. Okay. Now our technology. The thing that's closest is the gene clinic that will be available in 35 months.
Construction completed.
We finished that starbase. Next, I'm going to build a station around that energy place. And then you can move there. I'll claim that eventually. It's not too high on my to-do list. We'll be taking that system swiftly. And a warm marginal world. Not sure where that is in terms of my habitability, but if nothing else, it's a potential colony world once we unlock the ability to terraform. Luna. Luna has also got just enough population on it now that we can level it up from a reassembled ship shelter to a proper planetary administration. We are also starting to have amenities problems on Luna. I'll have to keep an eye on that to make sure it doesn't spiral too far out of control, and set up a few jobs to start providing those. Fortunately, the administration, just by existing, will give us +5 amenities, which should get rid of that penalty. At least I hope so. Once you're done there, move there.
Construction completed.
Okay, and with that done, I'm going to say you can move there. I want to get up to that system faster than these guys to block them off at that choke point, I think. This system's gonna take a little longer, though.
Construction completed.
So I think we have time to do one other thing. Go do that, and then you can park yourself in this system.
System survey concluded.
Thank you so much. Continue with your survey of surveyness. And again, I would love to know what we're expending these resources on. Get me some screen that tells me that shit, please. Would love that kind of information. Unfortunate that I don't get it right now. Hint hint, nudge nudge, paradox? Who am I kidding? They don't watch my videos. Why would they? The best, worst case scenario with these guys, I think, is we have to settle for that system. Ideally, I would like to get all of these.
Construction completed.
But I don't see that happening, quite frankly. Right now, I think it's time we set up a monthly trade deal. So I am going to sell 30 minerals and buy, let's say, 10 food. That should resolve my issue with food and minerals right now. We'll see if I need to sell more, because I have a decent chunk right now. No, we're good. +6 food, and we're down to +62 and +12 on energy. That should work as a trade deal right now, and keep our economy sorted for the time being. Retired Admiral rises to prominence on Alpha Centauri. This is an event, I think, from one of the mods that I have, which makes it so that you get more of a sort of political feel of your empire's interactions and such, which is kind of cool. Anyways, a fledgling colony is always an opportunity for advancement for those with the ambition to seize it. On Alpha Centauri Prime, again, going to rename these colonies, this has proven to be the case. A decorated retired naval officer called Chiang Kong has so inspired the new colonists with his leadership abilities that they have begun to greatly respect his judgment. Unfortunately, he does not seem to be inclined to misuse his popularity to challenge the authority of the System Alliance's government. Indeed, the local authorities have petitioned the central government that it would be best for him to be given an official role as the Legate of Alpha Centauri Prime, to see that the planet is well governed. Let's see. We could assign him as the Legate. The planet will get orbital bombardment damage -, army build speed +, soldier jobs +2, citizen pop happiness, and militarist ethics attraction. We could give him an advisory role, which is the same buffs, just slightly less in percentages and one less job. Or recall him, he has clearly forgotten his place. He's removed, but the consequences are unpredictable. I don't see a problem with this. I'm going to assign him as the Legate of the colony. Just some additional happiness and stuff. Always nice. What I'm going to do now... Where is Declare Rivalry? Ah, here. Let's see, who of these do I dislike more? Let's see, well... These guys are kind of being dicks towards us, and they rivaled us. But these assimilators are more of a clear and present threat, I think. So we're going to rival them. Dot. I love how their response is just a single dot. That's the best. And they've returned the favor. Can't say I'm surprised, honestly. Our fleet power is still equivalent. Going to be a long time. It's going to be a long time before we can actually go to war with them. But I'm going to start building up to that point. There. unfortunately, it would appear that my computer, to be more specific, OBS, decided that having audio being recorded out of my microphone is overrated after I had to pause the recording and then come back after, so a good chunk of it is without audio. I'll go back and check it again, and I may end up cutting the bulk of that out, but I figured I should actually record my outro again, rather than just leave it not being there, which would have been kind of weird. But anyways, this is going to be the end of this episode, since we have hit 22:30 now, and I said that I would stop at the 22:30 mark. Of course, you didn't hear that because audio bullshit. Anyways, we are in an unfortunate position, being a little bit boxed in between the religious leave us alone you asshole people and the Borg's weird second cousins. Next time we're going to have to figure out a way to fix the whole being boxed in situation, because I don't really want to stay in that sort of place, to be perfectly honest. And I don't think it's going to be especially fun for us to stay there. So, if you've enjoyed this, then please leave a like, comment down below if you have any tips or suggestions, or if you just want to tell me how much I suck at everything. And also, just to remind you, I am still in the search of names for Alpha Centauri Prime as well as Sirius Prime, and names for a couple of the systems within my territory that I want to change because they're so bloody hard to pronounce. So if you'd care to suggest any of that, as well as names for scientists, science ships, or construction ships, that'd be great. See you next time!